Good morning. I am Jackie Toops with ArmyWife101.com, and today we have a very special guest, Mrs. Maxine Reyes. She's also known as Captain Reyes. She is a retired veteran who served in both the Army and the Air Force. She is an entrepreneur, an author, a singer, a speaker, a wife, a mom, you name it, and she's done it. She's incredibly inspiring and ambitious, and we are very excited to talk with her today. Thank you for being here with us, Maxine.
Thank you for having me, Jackie, and Army Wife 101.
Thank you. We're very excited to talk to you because you have so much going on, and I think you show that it's possible to have goals and achieve those goals. And so we're going to talk about some of your current initiatives, your new initiatives coming up, and some of the successes that you feel incredibly proud of.
Okay, sounds good.
Great. Well, to kick it off,
I can't see anyone, so I'm just going with the flow. I can't see you guys, but I can see my folks on Instagram, so I'll be looking up at them as well.
You look phenomenal, so we're good. You're just glowy. So as I said, you're incredibly multifaceted. Can you tell us a little bit about your history to get started? I'm really interested in where you're from, what led you to join the military. If you can tell me a little bit about your background, that would be great.
Okay, I'm originally from Jamaica. I came here as a teenager, and so I started high school in the wonderful state of Florida.
That's where I'm from.
Yeah, you're from too. Yeah, from Miami. I graduated from Miramar High, which is in south of Fort Lauderdale. And after that, I went straight to the military, to the Air Force.
Fantastic. So you started young. Had you always known you wanted to be a member of the military?
Not at all. It was not on my radar. I wanted to become a broadcaster, television broadcaster. Thought I was going to be a weather lady, and then I knew I would be singing on the side. So one or the other, I knew I was going to do one of those, but I did not know that I would be joining the military.
Well, fantastic. You know, and life has a way of changing plans sometimes, and I think it's a matter of how you roll with the punches.
You just have to roll with them.
So you decided to join the Air Force, and then what happened after that that would be significant? Did your life continue to go as planned, or did it kind of veer off in a new direction?
It veered off in a new direction. So what inspired me to join, I wanted adventure, college. I wanted to go to college, and the military was the best way at the time to get my college paid for, and also wanted to serve my adopted country of the United States of America. So I joined the Air Force and thought I was going to do only 4 years and get out, but I started to like it, and I ended up staying 11 years before transferring over to the Army after I received my bachelor's degree. I became an officer in the Army. So I was enlisted first, and then I finished in the Army at 11 years as well. So total of 22 years of service.
Well, thank you for your service. That is fantastic. And 2 branches, you were quite thorough, I would say.
Yeah, I didn't mention that I joined the Marine Corps Delayed Entry Program with my best friend, my best girlfriend, before I joined the Air Force. But she went to boot camp first. Wow. And she said, don't come to the Marine Corps, go to the Air Force. And boom, I did. But guess what? She retired from the Marine Corps after 20 years. So it wasn't that bad.
Fantastic. That's so great. And when did you retire? Just recently, yes?
Yes, December of 2017. So I'm getting on to my first year. Yeah, anniversary.
I'm sure that's a bit of a transition after being in for so long.
Yes, I'm still transitioning. It's sort of, challenging sometimes, but when you've done it all of your adult life, it's just a way that you have to adjust to the new lifestyle of being outside of the military. Luckily, right now, I'm at Fort Bragg. That's where my husband is stationed. So I'm still around service members quite often.
So it must feel like home then.
Yeah, this was our first Army duty station. And I still volunteer. I teach resilience. I'm a master resilience trainer. So I teach resilience to military spouses and family members on post as well.
Fantastic. Now, can you tell me, to circle back to your military service a little bit? Historically, it's male dominated. And here you come in and you're an up and coming officer. What was it like working in that environment as a female?
Well, I mean, the military is awesome when it comes to diversity. Okay. Now, some individuals find it hard to witness strong, intelligent, powerful, yet nurturing women. thriving in their roles as leaders. So I became aware of that. Not soon enough, but eventually I did become aware of that. And it became a motivator for me to just do well in my assignments. I did not let the male-dominated field intimidate me, right? I'm particularly proud of so many different things that I did while I was in, but I tried my best not to let the challenges of the male domination hinder my progress.
Fantastic. And I was reading up on you, and I see that the city of Orlando did something special with you in mind. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes. So I worked in the city of Orlando as an Army company commander, recruiting company commander. What I did while I was there, I volunteered a whole lot in the community. My job was to really get the Army intermingling with the local community. And so the person that I am, I'm very outgoing, and I just went straight on, volunteered. I became a member of the Mayor's Veterans Council. I volunteered with the homeless shelters. I was a guest speaker at many of the schools, and just to integrate the Army into the local community and embed myself into it. And so at the end of my term, after 2 years, they awarded me a proclamation with my own day, Captain Maxine Reyes Day in the city of Orlando, for my leadership as the Army recruiting commander and my volunteer time in the community.
Congratulations. That is a stellar honor. I don't know anyone else who has a day proclaimed after them. So congratulations.
Yeah, that was quite shocking. And I didn't really get to soak it in until I left. I went to my other duty station where I retired, and I got all these newspapers and, features. And then I realized, wow, that was really big, but I was just doing my job and being me, and I was recognized for it.
Fantastic. Well, I know while you were in Orlando, I'm not sure if this was at the same time, but you've also done some pretty amazing things with the Orlando Magic, for example, and your singing engagements. Can you tell me a little bit about those?
Yes. So as I mentioned earlier, what I wanted to do when I grow up one of them is to become a singer. And so being in the military, it's hard to have a music career when you're serving as a leader. So I tried my best to volunteer for any events to sing. And the national anthem was the easiest thing because you don't need a band to practice with. You just practice in the shower and then go out and do it. And so that's what I did. I've done it for, several large events, not to name them, but yeah, I did it quite a few times in Orlando as well.
Excellent. Well, and I understand that you also sang for some dignitaries as well.
Yes, I did. President Bush was one of them. And my main one that I cherished was really entertaining the troops while I was downrange in Afghanistan. There wasn't entertainment there. There was a DJ, but no one would come in because of the safety issues or safety concerns. So I was the one, along with my friend Kim. She's also a Facebook friend. I'm not sure if she's watching, but we were both the ones entertaining the troops in the chow hall, dining facilities. We had a great time in doing that, and that was one of my proudest moments, entertaining or singing.
Well, thank you for doing that. My husband just returned from a deployment from Afghanistan, so I know that I appreciate anything you're willing to do, and even if it's singing at the DFAC, I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, it was great entertainment for them. Karaoke track.
That's excellent. Well, and we talked about your husband a little bit. What I think is interesting is that you are a dual military couple. And I think that's very incredible because it's not the easiest lifestyle. Can you tell me a little bit about how the two of you met? Because you've been married now for 20 years, is that correct?
21.
It's legal. You're legal. It's illegal. 21 is legal age.
I know, right? Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's been a ride, I can say. So we both joined the Air Force, and we dated a year long distance until they were able to put us together after we got married. We got married a year after we started dating. And you asked how we met. We met at a Special Olympics game. He had a little boy that he was sponsoring, and I had two little girls. One of them was my roommate that she dumped on me, but I had both of them, and we had the same races that his little boy was running. My girls were running too, and so they were competing in the same event, and I just kept seeing him, and he looked familiar. Actually, I saw him in basic training, and so that's why I remember his face. And we were in Mississippi at our tech school, which is a AIT for Army folks. And we met there, and I went up to him and spoke with him, and just asking where he was from, and I started the conversation. So, ladies, if you see something you like, don't be shy.
Exactly.
The conversation.
Excellent piece of advice. Just go for it.
And, so we got married, and 3 months later, the Air Force put us together. So he was stationed in California, and I was stationed right here at Seymour Johnson in Goldsboro, North Carolina. And so we got together. He flew out, drove me across country to Sacramento, and then we started our lives there, barely teenagers, And 21 years later, multiple tours overseas and separation within the United States, and we're still holding it together. And we can say now that we are actually thriving. There were some challenging points, and mainly not because of us, but mainly because of the separation and just dealing with that, the cost of it, everything. And so we made it happen, and we're still together. Now we're thriving, and other couples are asking us for assistance because they're struggling.
Yes, well, fantastic. And the military lifestyle is very difficult to maintain relationships. As you said, there's always moving, there's separation. And I do know that you and your husband wrote a book together, which I think is fantastic. I actually just read it this week, and I'm going to be writing a piece on it for Army Wife 101, and it's called Happily Joint. Can you tell me a little bit about what inspired the two of you to write that and what the process was like?
What inspired us was really couples and individuals requesting us to give them tips because they've seen the struggles, they've seen the challenges, and they wanted to know, hey, how do you guys do it, and still look like you just got married 2 years ago? And so they asked us, hey, you guys should write a book. And actually they suggested it. And so we decided to do it. And we were not living in the same household when we did it. He was stationed in Daytona Beach, and I was in Texas. And we wrote it. He wrote his version from a male's point of view, and I wrote my version from a woman's point of view. And it's now on Amazon. And this week will be on Barnes & Noble, and we'll be doing in-store signings starting from here on out once it gets into Barnes & Noble.
Well, congratulations. And I will say I enjoyed it. It's a very quick, digestible read. It's nice getting the female and the male perspective because as a woman, of course, I know my side. I was agreeing with you on everything like, yes, yes, yes. And then I read his and thought, I should think about that.
Yeah. And, he's pretty good and blunt when it comes to just, stating the facts and how we should deal with them. A lot of males, they don't look at the side of the woman, but my husband, he grew up with his mom was a sergeant major. She retired, and so being around women and knowing how to care for them is a big deal. And so for him, he was putting that experience, having that strong woman as his mom and a caregiver and mentor, and having me as a wife who I'm a go-getter as well. So he knows, hey, she's my wife. She's nurturing, yet she's a strong woman. And so he as the male had to cater to me, and other men, it's not easy for some of them to adapt to that. And so his recommendations are on point, and they actually consider, changing their ways after he's mentored them. So.
Fantastic. And you do couples retreats as well. It's not just the book.
Correct. And we've been doing the couples retreats for 5 years now, since our 15th wedding anniversary. And this year, 2018, we did not do one because of my transition from the Army. It was just too much going on. So next year, we're planning with Miss Jessica Tabbert from J. Giselle in Miami, event planner. We're working on an event for next year for mainly military spouses and other couples as well.
Oh, perfect. That is fantastic. Thank you so much for that. I think it's wonderful that you two are doing that and giving back to the military community and families in such a unique way.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And you also got a daughter. You're a mom as well. So here you are juggling your profession. You're launching all these side businesses, and you're also a mom, which I think is fantastic.
My proudest job of all.
That's wonderful. So were you ever away from her while the military was happening, or your husband? I assume there were times of separation.
What kind of question is that, Jackie? Nah.
I
I
know,
never stay away from them.
of course. You're like,
Yeah. Where should I start? 5 months old. You can start with that. She was 5 months
wow.
old, and yeah, I was breastfeeding, and I had to leave her for 3 weeks, and bring my pump with me and pump that boob so it won't be engorged,
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
a week later, I came home, and she didn't recognize me. I don't think she did because she looked at me like, "Who are you?" Broke my heart.
Oh, that
Broke
was
my heart. And then when she was 11 months, my husband was already deployed to Afghanistan, and then it was my turn. I went to Haiti to help out after the earthquake. So she was 11 months when I had to drop her off with some trusted friends to go off and do my training, and then deploy to Haiti.
oh my goodness.
Yeah, we both missed her first birthday and her first steps, but really over the years we've noticed that she's resilient. As most military kids or all military kids, they've all been through a whole lot, and one thing you cannot take away from them is the experience and their resilience, their toughness.
I can't agree more. And my heart goes out to you as a mom. I can't imagine how difficult that was. That's just one of the sacrifices that military families make that a lot of people just aren't aware of.
Yes, and then the last separation, well, the second to last separation was when I went away for overseas to the Middle East for 12 months, and when I came back, I had some training I had to do in preparation for a deployment, and so I had to send her off for 6 months again, right before I retired. So yeah, I mean we've had our separations, and that has made us stronger and closer. Especially now that I'm retired, I try to spend as much time with her. I'm thinking that I'm making up. You're not really making up, but that mom guilt kicks in, and you just want to stay with her for as long as you can. So that's what I do.
Wonderful. I'm glad you finally are afforded that opportunity now that your service is up.
Yes, thank God.
Well, and you talked about her resilience, and I want to talk about some of the brands that you've launched because you've got a lot going on. And I know that your daughter and you are just two of the females that you work to strengthen and inspire and empower. Can you talk about a little bit? You mentioned speaking with schools, and I know you work with teenagers. Can you tell me a little bit about your work in that vein?
Yes. So before I joined the military, I was volunteering with the Big Brother Big Sister program out of Florida, and really I love speaking to the youth because I was one, and I didn't have many mentors or motivators. So besides those you watch on TV, and so I wanted to make sure that I give back in that way. So I go to the schools now, and my recruiting job as a recruiting commander has helped me to be out in the schools more. And so one of the things that I used to do is go to high schools and universities to speak on education. So I wasn't really recruiting, but I would motivate them and encourage them to get to further their education. So that's one of the areas where I got my desire to do it more often, especially for the youth. Now, my main audience for speaking is, of course, teens, women, and my husband and I both do the couples work. What we hope to accomplish with these groups is, we're here on earth to serve a purpose. And so my purpose is to inspire and encourage others to lead their best lives, courageously, of course, and gracefully. And it begins at home. So me going into these schools, helping the kids, but really speaking to the parents and helping them to be more involved in their children's lives. And so we build stronger and better leaders when we start at home, to encourage them, build their confidence, and help them to be great people, awesome citizens of the world. So that's my goal, and my husband's goal as well when we're dealing with the couples, because we're working on marriage, but yet we're working on family life because it all begins at home.
Yes, that's a fantastic mission, and I love that you two are able to support each other in that effort to help inspire and better the lives of those around you, not just military affiliated, but just any family. And I think that's really important for our community. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
So I know you mentioned that you're graceful, courageous, and so you do have a brand called With Courage and Grace.
Yes.
And that's sort of your parent company. For others that you have, Happily Joint, which we mentioned with the book, and Sincerely Maxine. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about any of your particular brands? And regarding Happily Joint, I will drop a link to the book in this as well at the end of the interview, so anyone interested can view it on Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, the main reason why I named my brand with Courage and Grace is, being a woman, going back to being a woman leader in the military. Many women that I've experienced and I've spoken to felt that they needed to be more of the aggressive type and not being the nurturing type, because the men were being the aggressive ones, or they're naturally the aggressive ones. And so I wasn't that type of leader. I didn't feel I needed to curse, yell, and scream at anybody to get my point across. And so I chose to lead courageously, but yet gracefully. And so that's where the name came from, leading with courage and grace. My motivation was inspiring and encouraging women to lead their lives with courage and grace. And so with the branding, my husband and I, when it comes to couples, it's helping them to lead their best life with courage and grace. And so that's why we have with Courage and Grace as the umbrella company for Happily Joined, and then for everything that I'm doing with the music and the public speaking.
Fantastic. Well, and I agree with you too. I think there's a way to lead, and the way that you've selected, just it really resonates with me, and I'm sure that others looking to maybe take a turn in their life realize that they can be true to themselves. They don't have to act a certain way to feel stronger and empowered. And I think that's very important that you brought that up.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So now that
not fearing to go after your goals or speaking up, but still being humble and being graceful and being considerate of others. Because we're all grown adults. Like when you're in the workplace, why do you feel like you have to yell and scream at someone? So basic training is fine, or boot camp is fine, because you're building these leaders. But once you're in the workplace, there's no need to be yelling at and screaming at grown-ups.
I do agree. Well,
it's embarrassing, and I've seen it. And when I came over from the Air Force to the Army, I saw it a lot in the Army, and in my organization, I nipped it in the butt right then, because I was able to, being an officer leader. I just tell them, hey, we're not going to treat grown adults like this. Okay, there's another way to do it. And then I rubbed off on them.
Oh, fantastic. See, you're influencing others as well. So now that you're retired, clearly you're not just sitting around. You've got lots happening. You've got your brands that you're working on. Can you tell me a little bit about what you've got coming up as far as any speaking engagements, singing? What have you got going on?
I have, this weekend I'm speaking at the Crown Coliseum to a bunch of youth going back to school. I think the audience should be about 5,000 students and parents. And then September 1st, I'm going to St. Louis to MC Vet Fest Live, which is a military event by retired Lieutenant Colonel Mark Green. And so he invited me to come on and MC that as well. Towards December, I have several other things coming up, but I'll definitely put them out on social media once everything is confirmed. And I have some great news, which unfortunately, I cannot share it right now because we're still working on the contract. But you guys will definitely find out more about that. And in the meantime, you can get an idea by watching our YouTube channel of how we give advice to couples. But yeah, something great is coming up, but I just can't mention it as yet because I can mention it, but I cannot tell you what it is until I get everything signed and sealed.
That's okay. There's nothing wrong with teasing the audience a little bit.
I really don't mean to do it, but I just hate to say something and then something falls through or whatever. But yeah, we're waiting on the contract to be signed. So.
Oh, excellent. Well, we will make sure that all your social channels are tagged in this post after the interview. So anyone interested, please do like and follow Maxine so you can keep up with what she's doing. And if you're interested, perhaps you can attend one of her seminars, engagements, you can read her book. And before we go, I want to know if, Maxine, you have any bit of advice. You said that you'd like to help people live their best life possible. And our audience with Army Wife 101 is highly engaged And some of them are dual military, some of them are not, like I am. I work from home, not military affiliated, but my husband is. So with that in mind, we've got a lot of wives, mothers, some who stay at home, some who work. Do you have any bit of advice that you would like to offer, a special message to our audience today, just so they can start living their best life possible?
Okay, hi guys. I mean, the main thing I would like to share is really something that I've gone through and I'm still going through. You know, so whatever phase you're in your journey, whatever it is that you want to do, whether it's entrepreneurship, you know, your marriage, professional goals, or personal goals, stay the course. Do not give up. Okay. If you haven't started as yet, it's never too late. Start today and build on the way. And just remember to do all things with courage and grace. Be bold, but still be humble. All right. So that's the main thing. Start now. Don't be scared. Do your thing. Just go for it. I am. And I'm not 19 years old. I did the military, but now I'm in overdrive with my new career. So it's never too late. And you're going to see me on someone's stage singing and speaking because these are things that I want to do. Okay. So just do it. Just do it.
Fantastic. I love it. Just be a go-getter, get out of your comfort zone, and stop planning to start doing. I think that's excellent advice. Thank you so much, Maxine.
The pleasure was mine. This went by so fast.
It really did. But I truly do appreciate your time and your insight. I know you've got a lot going on. You have a wonderful background. You have so much you're currently doing, and it sounds like you have an exciting future ahead. So I look forward to keeping up with you and sharing your success with our audience as well.
Thank you so much, Jackie. Thanks for having me. Army Wife 101. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you so much. And thank you all for tuning in. I hope everyone has a wonderful day.
Thanks, Jackie. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.